Hold up. $22 million in Kaspa shorts are about to get absolutely wrecked. We're talking potential liquidation cascades, forced buying, and a short squeeze that could send KS rocketing past key resistance levels. But here's the kicker. While traders are positioning for this technical breakout, the community is having a completely different conversation about whether Kaspa can even hit $1 by 2025. And what I found when I dug into the data, 60% believe it's happening, 25% think it's pure hopium, and the remaining 15%, well, they're playing it smart. Stay tuned because we're about to break down the liquidation heat map, analyze 19 million tokens leaving exchanges, and reveal what this could mean for your portfolio. Alright guys, let's talk about what's happening right now with Kaspa, because the technical setup is absolutely wild. I've been analyzing the liquidation heat maps, and what I'm seeing could trigger the kind of momentum shift that changes everything for KS holders. Here's the situation. We've got a massive concentration of short positions clustered between 86 and 91 cents. But the real fireworks? That's happening at 95 cents. According to Kaspa Daily's latest data, over $22 million in short positions are sitting right there, just waiting to get liquidated if KS breaks through that level. Now for those new to liquidation dynamics, let me break this down quickly. When shorts get liquidated, they're forced to buy back the asset to cover their positions. That creates buying pressure. Multiply that by $22 million worth of positions, and you're looking at a potential cascade effect that could rocket the price higher faster than most people expect. But here's what's even more interesting. The downside risk is minimal. The cumulative long liquidation zone below 84 cents is relatively flat. Translation? There's limited selling pressure if we drop, but massive buying pressure if we break up. That's what we call an asymmetric risk-reward setup. And smart money is starting to take notice. The key range everyone's watching, 91 to 95 cents. That's where the momentum could shift dramatically. Technical analysis suggests that if we break above 95 cents, we could see a dash toward the 105 to 110 range pretty quickly. But wait, there's more. And this is where things get really interesting from a fundamental perspective. 19 million KS tokens just left exchange wallets in the last 24 hours. 19 million. When I see numbers like this, my radar immediately goes off because this typically signals one of two things. Either institutional accumulation or retail investors moving to cold storage for long-term holding. Here's why this matters for price action. When tokens leave exchanges, you're removing immediate selling pressure from the market. Think about it. If coins are sitting on Binance or Coinbase, they can be sold instantly. But when they move to self-custody, that's diamond hands territory. Those holders are planning to wait. This exchange outflow, combined with the short squeeze setup we just discussed, creates what I like to call a perfect storm scenario. Reduced selling pressure plus forced buying equals potential fireworks. The current price is bouncing from oversold levels around 87 cents, and with all this liquidity sitting above current prices, the technical and fundamental picture is starting to align. Traders are leaning cautiously bullish, but cautiously is the key word here. Because here's the thing, we've seen this movie before with other altcoins. Great fundamentals, bullish technicals, community excitement, and then nothing. The market decides to ignore everything and dump anyway. So while the setup looks promising, we need to stay realistic about what could go wrong. Speaking of staying realistic, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Can Kaspa actually hit $1 by 2025? Because that question is literally tearing the community apart right now. Crypto analyst CryptoGrod dropped this bomb on X recently. Does KS still have the fundamentals to make a move toward $1 in 2025 even after smart contracts? The response is absolutely fascinating. And I mean that this wasn't your typical crypto echo chamber. I decided to dig deeper, so I used AI analysis to scan through hundreds of replies and categorize the sentiment. What I found reveals everything you need to know about where Kaspa stands right now. 60%, and I'm talking about a solid majority here, are still bullish on the $1 target. These aren't just hopium addicts either, they're pointing to legitimate technical innovations. The Ghost DAG protocol, the crescendo upgrade, 10 blocks per second processing with plans to hit 100. These are real technological achievements that separate Kaspa from the typical altcoin pump and dump projects. One user compared Kaspa directly to Cardano, arguing that while ADA has slowed down, KS is working. That confidence in continued development shows you the kind of conviction we're dealing with here. But here's where it gets spicy. Smart contracts. They're not live yet, but the community sees them as the real game changer. Some discussions suggest the full rollout might not happen until 2026, which could push the major price appreciation into the next cycle. But even that delay isn't killing the optimism. Someone shared an image showing Kaspa at 361 if it reached Cardano's market cap. Now that's some serious hopium, but it shows you the kind of upside people are imagining. The bullish crowd also referenced long-term forecasts putting Kaspa at over $100 by 2050. If that's even remotely accurate, then $1 by 2025 would just be the beginning of a much bigger story. But hold up, not everyone's drinking the Kool-Aid. 25% of responses were straight-up skeptical, and their concerns are worth taking seriously. Some dismissed the $1 target as pure FUD, calling it overly hyped and unrealistic. When you look at the numbers, you can understand why. Kaspa's current market cap sits around $2.7 billion with a large circulating supply. Getting to $1 would require significant market cap expansion, and that doesn't happen in a vacuum. The bears also pointed to some concerning price predictions. Changelly's forecast suggests Kaspa could drop nearly 16% by August 2025, taking it down to around 21 cents. Considering KS has already lost over 15% in the past week, some investors are wondering if this is a falling knife situation. Even Crypto Grod himself seemed frustrated, replying that the market seems to be ignoring KS, but not for long. That tells you something important. Even the believers recognize that fundamentals don't always translate to price appreciation in the short term. The emotional side of crypto investing came up too. One user warned against greedy paper hands, suggesting that people pushing for $1 by 2025 might be chasing quick profits rather than thinking about sustainable long-term growth. These skeptics aren't necessarily wrong about Kaspa's potential, but they're raising valid concerns about timing, market conditions, and investor psychology. Sometimes the best projects take longer to reach their full potential than the community expects. The remaining 15% took a more balanced approach, and honestly, their perspective might be the most mature of all. These users argued that the market will ultimately decide Kaspa's value, regardless of what the community wants or expects. As one person put it, the market will decide the value of what KS brings to the table. That's cold, hard reality, and crypto fundamentals matter, but market sentiment often matters more in the short term. Others questioned the rush to hit specific price targets. Why the rush besides the greedy paper hands that want to get rich overnight? This reflects a more patient investment philosophy focused on sustainable ecosystem growth rather than hitting arbitrary price milestones. Several users mentioned being more interested in network development than near-term price goals. They talked about block speed improvements, MEV resistance, and other technical advances without tying them directly to the $1 question. This group sees $1 as possible, but not urgent. Their focus is on building a strong technological foundation and letting value follow over time. From a risk management perspective, this might be the smartest approach. So, where does this leave us? Let me break down what I think is really happening here. The technical setup is genuinely compelling. $22 million in shorts at risk, 19 million tokens leaving exchanges, oversold bounce potential. These are real catalysts that could drive near-term price appreciation. The 95-cent level is absolutely critical, and if we break through, 105 to 110 becomes the next target. But the $1 question for 2025, that's where things get complicated. The community split tells us everything we need to know. 60% optimism is bullish, but it's not unanimous. And in crypto, when you don't have overwhelming consensus, you usually get volatility instead of steady appreciation. Here's my take. Kaspa has legitimate technological advantages and a passionate community. The Ghostag protocol and planned smart contracts are real innovations, not marketing hype. But getting to $1 by 2025 requires more than good technology. It requires perfect market timing, sustained institutional interest, and broader crypto market cooperation. The smart money play? Position for the technical breakout while staying realistic about longer-term price targets. If we get the short squeeze above 95 cents, take some profits. If smart contracts deliver real utility when they launch, that could be your next entry point for the longer-term hold. Remember, in crypto, the best opportunities often come when the community is divided. When everyone agrees, you're usually too late. Right now, Kaspa sits in that sweet spot where the technology is advancing, the community is engaged, but the broader market hasn't fully recognized the potential yet. What do you think? Are you betting on the short squeeze, the $1 target, or playing it safe until smart contracts launch? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one and often feature the best analysis in future videos. If you found this breakdown valuable, smash that like button and subscribe for more deep dive crypto analysis. I post new videos every week covering the projects and trends that actually matter for your portfolio. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss updates on Kaspa's technical breakout or any other major developments in the crypto space. Trust me, when $22 million in shorts start getting liquidated, you'll want to know about it in real time. Before you go, remember this is not financial advice. I'm sharing my analysis and opinion for educational purposes only. Cryptocurrency investing carries significant risk, and you should never invest more than you can afford to lose. Always do your own research, consider your risk tolerance, and consult with qualified financial advisors before making investment decisions. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results, and crypto markets can be extremely volatile. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.